Welcome all to the final match of the day, featuring Mark Hobbs and Darren Long. If you were expecting to see the match between Darren Long and Jamie Giddens, the news of the day is that Jamie Giddens pulled out late yesterday, and Mark Hobbs comes through as the lucky loser from the qualifiers. So let's have a look at the profiles. Mark, having made a return to the game since COVID, having spent 10 years away from the game as a PE teacher, he gave some lessons to the members at the Cambridge Tennis Club. That's how he got back into it. Spent a year or so as the pro at Prested and has now moved to Newmarket. You see his career highlights date a long way back, winning the under-21 24s in 2002 and 2004 respectively. He's made back at the British Open round of 16 for the first time since 2012. As you can see, he's not played a lot of recent matches, with those dates going back to 2012. Played in the qualifying here and lost to Ben Yorston. As we say, he's through as the lucky loser. So it was a 5-6, 4-6 loss in that qualifiers. Yeah. Sorry, dude. Now let's have a look at Darren Long. Darren is the senior professional at the Manchester Racquet and Tennis Club. He's been on the circuit for a number of years now, and is slowly progressing up the ranks. Recently had some young children, which he is very proud of, and actually inhibiting some of his travel for tournaments at the moment. But as you can see, handicap around the scratch mark is not too shabby. Career highlights now for Darren. That Category A Open Championship on a number of occasions. Of course, the Category A Open now being hosted at his home club of Manchester. That's the 0 to 9s. And a few other Open quarterfinals in there as well. And lastly, his recent matches, played in the French Open, but drew Steve Vagona in the first round, which is a tough first round match in a tournament where Steve made it all the way through to the final. So can't be too disappointed with that. And a few wins and losses at Champions Trophy and Jesmond Dean Cup. On the head-to-head, these two have not previously played, and that's mostly a function of Mark's absence from the game over the last couple of years. So no head-to-head results between the two. And lastly, looking at the world rankings, you can see Darren Long in there at number 12, looking to move up the rankings in this tournament. Well, ranking points ever important for things like the world race. Just as these players continue to finalise their warm-up, it's a tough position to be in, having been having been sat in the cold for a number of hours as the previous matches concluded. We've had some pretty long ones today, starting off with the first match between Will Flynn and Zach Edel that went to 5, and most recently Lewis Williams repeating his feat of coming back from 2 sets down to beat Josh Smith. Do chime in and let us know where you're watching from. Let us know how you've enjoyed the tennis so far, what your predictions for the rest of this tournament are. We've had some cracking matches. Some of the second round matches will start tomorrow. We'll have also some of the remaining first round matches, as it looks like the players are just about to finish their knock-up and go through all the final preparations for this match. Your marker today will be the head professional from the Queen's Club, Ben Ronaldson, who's been in the game for many years. Father Chris Ronaldson, formerly the pro at Hampton Court, now the pro at Radley School, and knows everything there is to know about the game of real tennis. It's always refreshing when we've got a Ronaldson on court. It just makes the game feel like it's home. Let's listen to Ben.
Best of 5 16 sets, Darren on to serve, Mark Hobbs to receive. First set, Lovell.
Here we go.
Chase, worse than 2.
So the players exchanging blows for the first time. Darren opting for a railroad, which is not uncommon for him. Darren is by far the higher, or the better player, as goes by the handicap. So we would expect him to do well here, but we'll see what Mark throws up. That's a bit wayward. Oh, and Mark finds the winning gallery for the first opening of the match. He's usually very proud of his winning openings. especially the winning gallery. If you ever have a lesson with him, you'll end it with a winning gallery competition, and he gets so hyped up for it. You saw him serving those wide railroads in his qualifying match against Ben Yorston. He didn't really do too many that was too tight to the side wall, so
40-30.
now throw a high serve in there just for good measure. It's often the case with these matches with a large difference in standard or in handicap that the weaker player, sometimes the best chance to get the game or get any games is right at the start of the match, where both of you haven't quite warmed up. You're still going to get a few racket errors. And so we're at deuce now. Mark's got a chance to get in the game.
Deuce. First chase is better than the yard. Lost the chase. Advantage chase better than 3.
Better than 3, not an easy chase. We will see the second serve here though. Darren still not looking like he's fully warmed up. We'll expect to see his game tune up a bit more as the match goes on. And there we have it, the first brill of the match. Darren so targets the grill so much, so expect to see more of them. We are exchanging targets here in this first game. We've had one of everything so far. Watch out, Ben. We've had way more targets than anything else at this point, it seems. And there's yet another one. Had 4 targets in a row. That's the kind of players these two are. They're relatively similar styles. Darren's a bit more youth on his side and played a bit more recently. It's 5 targets in a row now. You can see Mark's hitting the penthouse high a bit. It's probably lack of match practice. Oh, unlucky. We've broken our grill streak. So yeah, do let us know where you're watching from and what you think of the coverage so far. Always happy to answer questions, and hopefully you can come along to some of the matches in person if you're in the London area. Tickets still available for most of the days. I think the final might be fairly sold out, but if you want to come along during the week, or if you've got an evening free, do come down and watch some excellent tennis. this is just target practice for Darren Long. I think he's scored most of his points in targets by this point.
Stroke 13-15.
I mean, it is a bit of target practice here for Darren. He's getting a lot of dead-ons, a lot of grills. Probably reflective of the fact that Mark's not really putting the pressure on him compared to what he's used to facing.
40-15. Chase, more than a yard worse than the last gap. Stop.
Mark's done well to get that. Darren's gone for the winning gallery, hasn't got it. Here's a chance for him. That's a great point from Mark. But you think the longer the points go on, the more it favours Darren. You expect him to put it away at some point.
Okay, 2 games to love.
Darren needs to stop finding that timbre. Mark's kind of expecting it by this point. And there's yet another target.
15 love.
The target practice continues.
Chase, 2 yards. 15 love.
Poor serve, put away really well by Mark there. It's triggered the change in serve to the underarm twist. So we're 2 games in and we've already got 4 grills to Darren.
Not up. 40 love. Chase, 2.
It must be hard for Mark because you play your qualifier, you lose your qualifier, you think that's it, that's my tournament over. And then to get the call to say, no, you're playing, you've got to reset your mental focus. And it's not something that he'll be used to, given his lack of match fitness.
40 love, Chase, 2.
Got to go for it on a chase too.
15-40.
Looking at the chat, James Walton's in the chat, watching from Oxford. Good to have you with us, James. And looking forward to seeing you here at the doubles semis. It should be a fantastic doubles semis. We'll have former world champion Rob Fay back in action in the doubles semis, which, well, assuming he makes it past the quarters, but these things are somewhat expected in the world of real tennis. Mark's brought it back to Juice here. Definitely starting to find a rhythm here in this match. Darren is looking very, very strong. And you feel like it's going to get to a point where we're just going through the motions for 3 sets. Unless Mark can pull out something miraculous. But that's the way it goes in the first round, or even the first 2 rounds of the British Open. From time to time, you do get these larger handicap difference or largest difference in standard, world ranking, however you want to put it, matches. Yes, it does give the weaker player an opportunity to show themselves, as we saw with Zach Edel and Will Flynn earlier today. With there was about 6 points difference there, but Will still pushed it to 5 sets. But
2 and 3, 30-15.
Sometimes it's just too much. Giles Doy also commenting on the grill count. Yeah, I think one of the things that so at the French Open, when I was giving coverage of that, I started putting up statistics on total number of grills and winning galleries and so on hit during the tournament. Now, the players took to that rather well, and one wonders if in the back of his mind Darren wants to get his grill count up to see if he can last through some of the later rounds at the top of that leaderboard. Back to Juice. Oh, that was a bit wild coming off the back wall there. Because we have a fairly long chase. Mark's going for that winning gallery again. He does like that shot.
And more than the hard work to go after. Better in the second and more than the hard work.
Back to the chat. We've got Mark's son in the chat, Louis Hobbs. Great to have you with us. Tell us what it's been like in the Hobbs household, getting the call up to come and play this lucky loser match. Interesting to hear.
Juice chased better than the second gallery. chased more than a yard worse than the last gallop. And that's good. 4 games to love.
Yeah, more grills. We're up to 7 grills now in this first set, which is a little bit unprecedented.
30.
In a way, Darren will be treating this as a training session for his later matches. Oh, that's another unfortunate double fault there. But I guess if you're going to serve it at any point in the tournament, this is probably the time. But yeah, Darren will be treating this as a training session. It's something that the likes of Rob and Cam have done in their first round matches, even against scratch opponents. Because if you're arriving into your city fairly late in the tournament, you know you're not going to play it until later in the week, so you don't have to come and book some practice courts. You just treat your first round match as a practice court if you're that good. That is outrageous, Darren. I do agree. Now had 4 winning galleries in this match. Very often we can get through a whole set without having any.
15 on. Vote. 30-15.
You do feel like if Mark is going to get any points, it is going to be through hitting things like dead-ons. Oh, that's unlucky. Tipped the net cord, made it all the way over for a stroke. I mean, if you watch some of the better players, you've watched even Ollie Pridmore, Levi Gale earlier today. You know, they're a lot younger, a lot quicker on the court, and will go up and they'll get those balls that have just tipped over the net post, or the net cord rather. James Walton asking in the chat, is there a match after this? Not tonight. And we have the first set, 6-love to Darren Long.
Second set.
Scored seemingly exclusively by grills. At the conclusion of last year's British Open, I put together a compilation video of all the dead-ons that Rob Fay hit, because he hit so many during the Open. And I wonder if Darren is looking for a equivalent video of his grills to date.
30 love, 1 check. Love chase better than a yard.
Let's have a look at some of the statistics from that first set. And we can see 9 grills to Darren Long in that first set, in addition to 2 dead-ons and 3 winning galleries. So he'll be, when he comes back off and looks through this, he'll be pleased to see that. You can see the serves one is up at 67%. It just kind of shows what kind of a match this is turning out to be.
Chase better than a yard.
Just seeing a lot of decent railroads get slapped relatively tamely back up the court and then pushed into the grill.
And that's game, first game, second set.
I mean, if you want the point to be over quickly, putting it in a target is not the worst thing in the world. Even though it's 6 love, 1 love, you can see that Darren is taking this seriously. It isn't an open; it is for money. He's getting frustrated with the mistakes that he does make. I think they.
Sorry, Mark, I am going to call that in.
Yeah, I think it did hit the camera because I can see the camera is now pointing slightly more at the floor. So that is a dead on. Another target to Darren. And there's yet another. Let's have a look at some serving stats now. Starting with Mark serving. You can see he's not actually had many serves to put on this so far. He's varied it up a bit. He's tried a few different things. It's hard to say, given the sample sizes, if any of them are actually working all that well. But at least he's varying it up, which, if you listen to the Chris Ronaldson School of Real Tennis, you should vary your serve every point.
And game, 2 games to love.
To be fair,
15 love.
Mark hasn't done too badly with dead-ons himself when he's had the chance.
15 all. Another. 1 and 2, 15 all.
Gets a good chase for Mark. He'll need that to help him progress in this game. I think the goal for Mark at this point is just to try and get a game on the board. He wasn't expecting to be here, and no one's really expected him to push all that hard.
30-15.
And lastly, we'll look at some serving stats for Darren. As you can see, he's been serving railroads mostly. Very few chases conceded. He's just been dominating that service end. Points won at 67% is, you know, if you think you're normally winning roughly 55% of points from the service end, if you're up at 67%, he's doing really well, as we would expect.
40-30 to the lead. Chase. 1 and 2.
Short chase here. Wide railroad. And this time he does not get the target. And Mark gets the juice again. Now he's got the juice, he's got the service end. Will he get a game? Oh, and here's his chance.
Advantage.
Now, can he get the game? It's a good pickup by Darren. He puts it in the last gallery and we'll get the serve back. One thing that happened both last year and this year before the Mark's qualifying matches, he was very active on social media trying to G up a crowd and you know, get the new market and Prested players, members very excited. We had very good viewing numbers for the... There we go, he gets the game. As you can see, he's happy with that. Yeah, we get the members from Newmarket and Prested very excited. He's very popular, though he has been a pro. There's yet another winning gallery for the senior professional from Manchester.
Chase 70 yards, 15 all. Oh. Okay. 7 yards and
Mark Heedle asking about the marking in the last match. I understand why people can get strong feelings about this sort of stuff. Personally, I'm not going to opine on it. It's not something that, as a spectator, you can control. And I think as a player, you always have to respect the marker, even if you think they're getting decisions wrong. We are having an exhibition of targets tonight. That's the 6th winning gallery and we're only 9 games in. Steve's going for it again. He wants that another winning gallery. But
3 games to 1.
it's a dead on instead. He likes that winning gallery. He's gone for it yet again and has succumbed to a dead on yet again by being out of position.
15 up. Out of it. 15 all.
We're now up to 12 dead-ons in this match as well. It's almost as if the only way you're allowed to hit a point is by hitting it in a target. Oh, that one's in the net, so that won't count to any of the statistics.
Server leads chase better than a yard. Game. 4 games to 1.
Mark, I see what you're saying about Premier League referees and match experience. I think the thing to remember also is that there are a lot of matches to get through in this tournament. You have a draw of 24 in the singles, a draw of 12 in the doubles, plus qualifiers. And it's not easy to, in anything like this, to find enough markers who are willing to do it.
15 left.
Because most of the markers are also players, and so you'll get in the first rounds a lot of the cases the players who are around are also playing on their day. We saw Darren marking a match before, and unless you're playing the first match of the day or the last match of the day, and there's five matches in the day, when are you going to mark on that day? And for the players who are the better players, they're not going to be around yet, so you've got to find your markers somewhere. Yes, you can say it's the home club's responsibility to put those on, but there's still a lot of work for Ben and Neil and Bryn, who are trying to also run the tournament and prepare for the latter 2 cases of their own matches. Add yet another one to the winning openings tally. And one more as we go to 5-1 in this second set. We're getting to the pointy end of things now. I guess the only remaining question in this match is, will Mark be able to get another game at some point. That's a great get by Darren. Though it does end up in the grill. Mark, I do understand it is the biggest event of the year. I am reminded of the French Open this year in the semi-finals, where the club ran out of markers in the latter stages, and we had to appoint an amateur to mark the semi-finals with about 10 minutes before the match started. So given that we actually have professional markers, I'm going to take that as a win. And you mentioned that you've never seen a marker in the net post. At Lord's, Chris Swallow also marks sat on a chair in the net post as well. You see that during the varsity match between Oxford and Cambridge. And that's the second set. Darren now leads 6-1, 6-love, 6-1. We're coming into the third set now. And the bell is tolling. The sayings about fat ladies and singing and all that. What can Mark pull out in this third set? There we go. Yet another winning gallery to Hobbsy. As I say, if you ever take a lesson with him, the lesson will always end with a winning gallery competition. He is an absolute badger for that bell.
Worse than 3, 15-30. Worse than 3, there is a chance.
So 30-all in this first game of the final set. Mark could really use this point here.
And nearly our worse than last gallery. Worse than 3, and nearly our worse.
Right, let's look at some of that. So statistics from the second set. You can see it fairly one-sided, 25 points, 1-11. Even though Mark had the bulk of the serves there, Darren has gone from hitting grills to hitting dead-ons. So he wants to keep up the count in both of them. So over quickly in 18 minutes. So wouldn't expect this match to last all too much longer.
Worse than 3. Chase nearly out worse than the last gap. third set.
And Mark Hobbs takes the lead in the third set, which he'll be very excited about. He's not been bageled. Oh, and an excellent nick serve railroad
15 love.
to get us underway in the second game. Giles, you asked about recruiting amateur markers. I think one of the things that the game of tennis has been pushing for in recent times is to ensure that markers at all major competitions are IIP certified. And if you're not a professional, you can't get IIP certified as it stands at this point in time. Because of course, if you've got amateur status rules, it means that if you have amateur markers, they're not allowed to get paid, at least by the current rules. Whether or not you agree with those rules is a different question, which I won't get into at this time.
Better than 2, 15, 30.
And I think the other thing on amateur markers, I think if you look at the withdrawals, we had 4 withdrawals from this competition, and this is the reason why I've got this particular pairing here today. Of those withdrawals, 3 of them have been amateurs. This is not to disparage amateurs and say that they're unreliable, but having a financial incentive there for professionals means that sometimes things happen in the game in a bit more organised fashion. If you go and spend any time at a rackets tournament, which is mostly amateurs, you'll find that it can be a bit more like herding cats compared to a tennis tournament, which is mostly professionals. Professionals will show up on time because they want to get paid at the end of the day.
15 love.
As we continue to watch this exhibition in target hitting from Darren.
15 all.
That was a tough bounce off the back wall, but he deals with it. And we get yet another one added to the dead-on tally.
Place 1 and 2, 30, 15.
Switching out from the serving for throwing in a demi after a long run of railroads. Let's have a look at some of these target stats, shall we? Let's see how we're getting on. Still Zach Edel leads 21 dead-ons in his match. But if we look at the percentage, Darren is hitting 20% of possible points from the receiving end into the dead-on, 1 in 5, which is quite incredible.
And that's game 2 games to 1.
Darren needs just 4 more games here. I don't think it will take him too long the way he's currently playing.
15 love.
To be fair to Mark, he's hit the dead on fairly regularly as well tonight. Perhaps you might say that due to the scoreline, Darren's not particularly pushing hard to get over and defend it as he might against one of the higher ranked players. Mark in with a chance for a second game in this set here. He's at 30 all. It'd be helpful if he could get a chase and get down the serving end.
40, 30.
If he wants to get a second game, it probably needs to be from the serving end. It just gives him that much more of an advantage in the rally. Yes, thanks, Ritalago. LL is for lucky loser. You'll see as we get into the later rounds, we'll start to see the seeds be on the scoreboard as well. But at the moment, we're watching the lucky loser match. Wait for Mark to get ready. I mean, the play should be at the pace of the server, unless there's an injury. But at this stage of the match, no one's really going to complain. Not far away at all now.
As in half a yard. 40 love.
So if you have been enjoying the coverage, do tune in tomorrow. The first match will be at 9 o'clock, the earliest start time tomorrow. We'll have 6 matches, with the first match being played between Rob Schenkman and qualifier Benedict Yorston. So do tune in for that. And of course, if you are in the London area, do come along and pop in and watch some of these fantastic matches that we'll expect to see later the week, especially once the seeds start to get involved. I think a few people are hoping for a result in the final that somewhat reflects day 2 of the World Championship. Wouldn't it be nice to see a competitive British Open final? Dave Isherwood, yes. I don't think we're going to worry about a 5-set one here. The way this is panning out, which is good because it means all of us can go and finish up here and get some food and rest, ready for tomorrow.
Four games to one.
Darren's just 2 games away now from securing his place in the second round. As we see yet another battle. Yeah, it is great seeing Hobbsy giving it a go. He was very keen coming back into the game. If you hear him talk, he'll tell you all about how he played at British Open in 2012, and it's good to see him making some new stories for him to brag about today. I think he's gonna look back fondly at the number of winning galleries he's hit in particular. As Hobbs joins the grill party. He does have a chance here for another game. He's got 30 all and he's at the service end. So let's see if he can do it. Not with a serve like that.
40-30. More than the hour worse than the last hour. 40-30.
So we just have a look at this replay here. Thank you all for tuning in today. It means a lot to see that you're all enjoying the tennis and enjoying the coverage. We work very hard to give you a product that you'll enjoy. And it's always good to see that people are engaging and tuning in, and we hope as the tournament progresses that builds and builds as we approach the final in 8 days' time.
Juice.
Here we go, here's Juice. Oh, I thought that might just float in there. And at this point, Mark just needs to take any chase he can get. With shots like that, he's going to need them. Yeah, let's look at the grill stats now. Darren has taken the lead in the grill stats with 13 grills to Oliver Pridmore's 9 in his match against Claire earlier today. And he's hitting a whopping 17% of points from the serving end into the grill. Yeah, I do seem to think that Darren is deliberately trying to up his opening counts. such that they might survive later in the week.
A bit worse until, but that's the best I can get.
Will Flynn still leads in the winning gallery count though, even though Darren and Mark are both on 4. But Mark, 6% of shots that he gets a chance to is hitting him in the winning gallery. I'm not sure if that will be beat over the course of the tournament, so it's something else for him to hang on to as this tournament progresses. The number of targets that have been hit in this match is frankly ridiculous from both players. Sometimes we see with these kinds of matches, you can get a bit showy, doing a bit of an exhibition. It's a shame that there's not really much crowd left to witness the dead-ons and the grills, but you wouldn't really expect that on a first Sunday of an Open late in the first round matches. Darren Long now just 2 points away from stealing his spot into the second round. I think perhaps it's a considerably easier match than he would have faced against Jamie Giddens, who plays off around about a scratch. Good chase for Mark there. If he can get this point, he's got a good chance of getting another game. That won't do it though. So match point to Darren with a short chase, but he has been firing them at the dead on, so I wouldn't rule it out at all.
40-30, chase worse than a yard.
Let's see how he gets on here. He's going for it, he's missed high, and we will see a deuce.
How about chase? Worse than 3. Deuce.
One sense that not up call by Ben Ronaldson might have just sealed the deal for Mark, because he's going to end up at the receiving end again in this deuce game in the not too distant future. Darren doesn't miss the opportunity to get another grill added to the count. Well, that's a tight call, that. I don't know about that. But Mark is always right. So.
Server, chase, worse than 3.
Alright, match point again with a worse than 3 chase.
And match, love, 6-1.
And that's it. Darren progresses through to the second round, beating the lucky loser Mark Hobbs 6-love, 6-1, 6-1. It's great to see Mark back here at the tournament, and of course Darren will use that match to gear himself up for his next round. Let's have a look at the match summary, and the story is those winning openings. 17 dead-ons to Darren, 9 to Mark, 13 grills to Darren, 2 to Mark, and 4 winning galleries apiece. So, all over in just over an hour. Thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to see you again bright and early on Monday at 9 o'clock. From all of us here at Queen's Club, thank you and goodbye.
Tried for years to try and learn how to cut the ball, but I was like, I just can't do it. Keep going aggressive.